rubyiruko mwe bayobozi b'ejo hazaza muharanire kuwuteza imbere. Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM. Munyarwanda, isuku ni isoko y'ubuzima. Zirikana ko isuku kubagize umuryango wawe ari inshingano zawe. Isuku kuri buri munyarwanda, igihugu kizira indwara. Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM. Umuco ni uzingira ry'ubukungu n'iterambere. Rubyiruko mwe bayobozi b'ejo hazaza muharanire kuwuteza imbere. Radio Imanzi 105.1 FM.
We got you updated. This is Radio Imanzi News in English.
This is Radio Imanzi, broadcasting from Kigali. Here is the news in English, brought to you by Fiona Umuganwa. The headlines. President Paul Kagame today received a Rory Stewart, president of Giveaway Directly. 154 teachers from Zimbabwe arrived in Rwanda under an exchange of education personnel deal signed between both countries early this year. The British Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned just after 45 days in office. Welcome back. News in detail. President Paul Kagame today received Rory Stewart, president of Giveaway Directly organization, for a discussion on furthering collaboration towards socio-economic transformation. Give Directly is a non-profit organization that lets donors send money directly to the world's poorest households. Give Directly works in 17 districts in Rwanda and has provided unconditional cash transfers to over 170,000 households. Since its inception in 2009, the organization has delivered over $580 million in cash directly to the hands of over 1.37 million people living in poverty. They currently have operations in DRC, Kenya, Liberia, Malawi, Mozambique, Morocco, Nigeria, Rwanda, Uganda, USA, and Yemen. 154 teachers from Zimbabwe arrived in Rwanda under an exchange of education personnel deal signed between both countries early this year. They are set to go through a 2-day training to understand the direction and performance of the country's education system. According to Charles Karache, Permanent Secretary at the Ministry of Education, the educators have all been given a 3-year contract that is subject to an annual evaluation every year. The teachers will be deployed in 4 main categories, namely basic education, basic TVET, polytechnic, and universities. Rwanda had initially targeted 500 teachers as part of the effort to bridge long-standing skills gaps and language barriers. Experts say Zimbabwe is one of the countries with highly educated people in Africa. The country has been pursuing deals with different countries to export the labor. The Minister for ICT and Innovation, Paula Ingabide, has called for effective measures to bridge internet usage gap. She says despite investments made, this issue should be a priority for discussion during the upcoming Mobile World Congress 2022, which will be held in Kigali from October 25th to 27th. The minister made the observations during a Twitter Space event. Paula said when you look at the global statistics about coverage and usage of internet, what is very clear is that Africa and most of the other developing countries are the ones lagging behind when it comes to the usage gap. Referring to the yet-to-be-launched Mobile Economy Report 2023, she pointed out that while 40% of the adult population in sub-Saharan Africa is connected to mobile internet services, 44% of people living in areas covered by broadband networks do not use internet services. She said the conversations in the Mobile World Congress Summit will look at the root causes hindering people from benefiting from the numerous investments that have already been made to expand network connectivity. At least 2,000 people are expected in Kigali for the Congress organized by the Global System for Mobile Communications Association, representing more than 55 countries across the globe. Rwanda is looking to invest about $28 million in landfill gas production for cooking and lighting. According to the Ministry of Environment, apart from fossil fuel and agriculture, landfill gas is the third largest human-generated source of methane globally. Landfill gas utilization will contribute to creation of revenue generation opportunities for stakeholders in the waste management process chain, improved quality of water, soil and local atmosphere, increased access to electricity and reduced dependency on traditional biomass energy. Adeline Ichimae, an engineer and expert in environment conservation, said the methane gas from landfills may be dangerous to humans, but reusing it opens doors for a circular economy in this field. The implementation of the project will involve the Ministry of Infrastructure as a lead implementing institution and other stakeholder institutions such as the Ministry of Local Government, RURA, REMA, City of Kigali, WASAC and local government institutions. Due to a lack of funds to construct the planned bus rapid transit, Kigali may not have lanes that are only for buses yet. However, Kigali city authorities say they are in talks with the World Bank to secure funding for the project. According to city engineer Emmanuel Asawa Katabarwa, the delays in the BRT system implementation were caused by limited financial resources to conduct feasibility studies. Experts say the bus rapid transit system is able to reduce the use of private cars to reduce congestion and air pollution in Kigali. However, due to the lack of this system, city dwellers have been complaining about traffic congestion and long queues while waiting for buses. The feasibility of the system was one of the topics discussed during a meeting on sustainable modes of transport in cities that gathered engineers and urban planners from Rwanda, Uganda, Tanzania, Kenya, Egypt and Ethiopia to share experiences. Katabarwa said the system will help reduce long queues of commuters waiting to board buses. He said there is a need for 500 buses in the capital, each carrying from between 39 and 70 passengers to ensure the system operates efficiently. He also says that dedicated lanes should have pedestrian and cycling lanes.
Economic news is a regular feature on Radio Imanzi.
The Rwanda Stock Exchange Market Report. Today's trading session remained quiet as no transactions were recorded on both the equities and fixed income markets. The equities counters closed with Bralirwa at 170 Rwandan francs, Bank of Kigali at 272, I&M Bank at 43, Simerwa at 120, M10 Rwanda at 176, Equity Bank at 440, Kenya Commercial Bank at 370, National Media Group at 1,200, Uchumi Supermarket at 104, and R8 Buffalo closed the counter at 526 Rwandan francs as the market closed.
Some items of international news on Radio Imanzi.
British Prime Minister Liz Truss has resigned just 45 days in office. With her resignation after just 45 days in office, Liz Truss has had the shortest tenure of any UK Prime Minister. In her public announcement earlier today, Truss said she cannot deliver the mandate on which she was elected by the Conservative Party. She added that she would continue to serve as the Premier until a successor is chosen. The Ethiopian government says peace talks on the nearly 2-year-old war in Tigray would start in South Africa next week. International calls for a halt to escalating violence in northern Ethiopia have been mounting since a failed bid by the African Union earlier this month to bring the warring sides to the negotiating table. Chad's President Mahama Idris Deby has declared a state of emergency over flooding that is affecting more than 1 million people in the country. Floods are not uncommon during Chad's rainy season, which usually runs from May to October in its southern regions. But this year the rains came early and were the heaviest in decades. The Indonesian government has announced a ban on all syrup and liquid medicine prescription and over-the-counter sales following the death of nearly 100 children from acute kidney injury this year. The rise in childhood acute kidney injury fatalities in Indonesia comes as the Gambia's government probes the death of 70 children from acute kidney injury linked to paracetamol syrups used to treat fever, which contained excessive levels of diethylene and ethylene in a scandal linked to 4 Indian-made cough syrups. Malawi has discovered a mass grave in the north of the country containing the remains of 25 people suspected to be migrants from Ethiopia. Police were alerted by villagers in the area who stumbled on the grave while collecting wild honey in a forest. Police spokesperson Peter Kalaya said they suspect they were illegal migrants who were being transported to South Africa via Malawi. He added that evidence gathered from the site indicated the victims were Ethiopian males aged between 25 and 40 years. With that, we come to the end of tonight's edition.